thank you very much, Mr. President. That was very profound, and I will say that I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them. They're going to have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott and John Radcliffe, thank you very much. But we have some of our really great leaders. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We also have some tremendous Russian business representatives here, and I think everybody wants to deal with us. We've become the hottest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time, and we look forward to that. We look forward to dealing. We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. I've always had a fantastic relationship with President Putin, with Vladimir. We had many tough meetings, good meetings. We were interfered with by the Russia hoax. That made it a little bit tougher to deal with, but he understood it. I think he's probably seen things like that during the course of his career. He's seen it all, but we had to put up with the Russia hoax. He knew it was a hoax, and I knew it was a hoax, but what was done was very criminal. But it made it harder for us to deal as a country in terms of the business and all of the things that we'd like to have dealt with. But we'll have a good chance when this is over. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there, but we have a very good chance of getting there. I would like to thank President Putin and his entire team, whose faces, who I know in many cases, other than that, whose faces I get to see all the time in the newspapers. You're almost as famous as the boss, but especially this one right over here. But we had some good meetings over the years, right? Good, productive meetings over the years, and we hope to have that in the future. But let's do the most productive one right now. We're going to stop really 5, 6, 7,000, thousands of people a week from being killed, and President Putin wants to see that as much as I do. So, again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
And next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And yet, are they a Brics nation?
What?
They're a Brics nation, Spain. Okay. You know what a Brics nation is? You'll figure it out. But, and if the Brics nations want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the Brics is, right? You guys know.
Brazil,
you know what I'm saying, right? I don't care, but Brics was put there for a bad purpose. And most of those people they don't even want to talk about it now. They're afraid to talk about it because I told them if they want to play games with the dollar, then they're going to be hit with a 100% tariff the day they mention that they want to do it. And they will come back and say, we beg you not to do this. Brics is dead since I mentioned that. Brics died the minute I mentioned that. And I remember when Obama and Biden in particular, I guess he said that, they have us over a barrel. They don't have us over a barrel. We have them over a barrel. Number one, with real U.S. dollars, treasury bills, and other cash equivalents is really strengthening the dollar and giving the dollar great prominence. And, you know, you have this little group called Brics. It's fading out fast. But Brics is, they wanted to try and take over the dollar, the dominance of the dollar and the standard of the dollar. And I said, anybody that's in the Brics consortium of nations, we're going to tariff you 10%. And they had a meeting the following day, and almost nobody showed up. They said, leave me alone. They didn't want to be tariffed, did they, Howard? Huh? So it's amazing. No, we're not going to let the dollar slide. If we have a smart president, you're never going to let the dollar slide. If you have a dummy, that could happen. Like the last one, he would. If you ever asked him about the dollar sliding, he would have no idea. But we can't let that ever happen again. Consumers, vendors, and people all over the world will then be able to use those stable coins for ultra-low-cost transactions that are cleared and settled in a matter of seconds rather than weeks and months. And it's really an amazing thing. And with the privacy, flexibility, and decentralization of cash, this revolution has the potential to supercharge American economic growth and empower billions of people to save and transfer in U.S. dollars. It's really all backed by the dollars. It's really a great thing. And a lot of, you know, we had a lot of Democrat support. I have to tell you that. I was shocked anytime you get one but we had a tremendous amount of Democrat support, which we appreciate, and which just shows you that you're doing the right thing. This will increase demand for U.S. Treasuries, lower interest rates, and secure the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency for generations to come. The reserve currency is so important. You know, if we lost that, that would be like losing a world war. We can never let anyone play games with us, and that's why when I heard about this group from Brics, 6 countries basically, I hit them very, very hard. And if they ever really form in a meaningful way, it will end very quickly. I will tell you, for them, they won't be gone very long. I don't think they'll even do it. They're virtually afraid to meet. I also remain fully committed to my pledge never to allow the creation of a central bank digital currency in America. It won't happen. My first.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Trump and Putin meeting. And Trump says there is no deal right now. And we know Russia and the United States have went their separate ways since 2014. The BRICS nations are on the rise. We've heard from Trump on several occasions speaking about the BRICS, that they're gone. He hasn't heard from them when we clearly know they've been having a BRICS summit. And those BRICS nations are on the rise due to this new digital economy. And the United States have fell behind on purpose. And Trump's job is to land us in this fourth industrial revolution, where everyone is on a level playing field. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And when it comes to all this technology, all they need is that crisis to bring it all in. We know during the C word, they tested every phase of the fourth industrial revolution without the sheep having a clue. And now we're seeing the test when it comes to the National Guard. We saw Trump send over 2,000 members to Los Angeles, now over 800 in D.C. And when you're conscious, you clearly know who creates the crime. If people have jobs, if kids have something to do, you don't have to worry about crime. Unfortunately, crime pays, and these corporations get paid. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have the Fed with these rates higher for longer, which is destroying this economy. And it's going to get worse due to these tariffs. And when the Fed finally does decide to cut, it's not going to help. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. We're going to continue on seeing yields rise. because no one wants this long-term paper. These countries know the fall of America to Babylon and the fall of the world reserve currency is right around the corner. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
While President Trump can authorize federal agents to conduct law enforcement inside U.S. cities under Home Rule Act of 1973, the president isn't able to federalize D.C.'s police department for more than 30 days. Beyond that, he would need congressional approval, which requires 60 votes in the Senate. Currently, the Republican Party holds 53 votes in the chamber. And President Trump says he will ask Congress to pass a crime bill, which will include a 30-day extension of police takeover in Washington, D.C. And Trump says he will consider adding more National Guards to the district if necessary.
In September, what would your vote be?
Well, the challenge here is that the dual mandate is, of course, very torn. On the one hand, inflation is going up, as we saw in the PPI data. And when inflation is going up, the Fed should be hiking. On the other hand, the employment report for July was very weak, which says the Fed should be cutting. So where do they want to put the weight in the dual mandate? Do they put more weight on inflation having gone up more recently? Or do they want to put more weight on growth slowing down? The dot plot is telling you, and that would be my vote, that they should be cutting. The dot plot is telling you that we are expecting cuts to come along over the next several years. But the question is, as Steve is saying, how quickly is that coming? And at what magnitude should we expect that for the rest of this year?
So to make sure I understand, I mean, the bottom line of what you just said is that you think they should be cutting. Why aren't more Fed officials coming out more publicly and more forthcoming towards that perspective?
Because I think that they are putting more weight on this inflation risk, that there's simply more inflation in the pipeline coming from PPI being so strong. And when pipeline inflation is high, it ultimately translates into higher consumer prices.
First of all, we settled last week at 428. So as we started to challenge that, we're now 4 basis points up on the week. Look at the weekly chart. The previous highs were a little bit above 430. So as we started to get near both those levels, you saw aggravated selling coming in. So we made new high yields for the week. But here's the salient feature. Whether you look at 2s or 10s since early July, the day before the jobs report that was very weak, you see how yields broke down. Maybe 2-year broke down more aggressively than 10s. But the point here is we're still well below the levels we were before that number came out. That's everything to me, because the market is telling me that the labor market's more important to those that trade interest rates on the long end than some of the issues that we're discussing regarding inflation. And by the way, solid retail sales today, import prices at 15-month highs, and weak Michigan. And finally, here's something really interesting. 10s minus boons on a day yields are moving up is now the closest it's been, going all the way back to early April. And why is that important? Because as our rates go up, boon rates are going up every bit as fast. Look at boon yields. They're at the highest levels since the 3rd week in March, closing in on 2.80%.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. with triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York. From COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.